There is a revolution happening right now above our heads. It's about to make silver more precious than ever. The sun's power is taking over the world. It's growing so fast, it'll be the biggest source of electricity by the 2030s. Solar. Here's the kicker. Every single solar panel needs silver to work. We're talking about a silver paste web in every panel, turning sunlight into power. Smart investors are already making their move. And that's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. With a silver IRA, you can surf this incredible wave of growth. It doesn't matter who sits in the White House or what Wall Street does. Solar power is unstoppable, and silver is its secret weapon. As the world goes green, your retirement could be going sterling silver. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers in 2024. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. You may get up to 10 free brand new 1-ounce silver Trump coins or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with every qualifying IRA. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. What up, you mother suckers? Jericho Green here with you once again, live. Sorry that I kept pushing the time back. It was supposed to be 1 o'clock, and then it was 1:15, and then it was 1:30, and then it was 1:45, and then it was 2 o'clock. But I have a reason, not an excuse, a reason. So I was going shooting today, and I was getting ready to leave, like literally getting ready to leave. I was loading up the truck, and my daughter comes out and says, Dad, can I come with you? And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's that, sweetheart? She said, Dad, I want to come with you. I want to come shoot. I was like, okay, cool. So she had her best friend spent the night last night. So she came too. So I took them shooting, and we shot the 22. I brought the Glock 17. So it was a good time. And then we're on the way back. We stopped, got lunch. So here we are. Daddy duty. What are you going to do? I said duty. Speaking of, look at the cup I grabbed. I didn't even plan this. Anyway, you see the thumbnail, you see the title. Is she next? Now, here's a fun game we can play. I want you guys to look at the thumbnail and see if you can pick which one is a hyena. Is it the one on the left or is it the one on the right? Which one is the hyena? I bet you can't guess. Underground Railroad Tyrone. I love that name. Yes, that cup did come from my wife and my kids. It was a Father's Day gift a few years back, but I love it. I still use it because I love my family. I love my family. Diesel, you are right. He guessed the one on the left. That is correct. That is the hyena. Kamala, the Ugandan nightmare, Harris, the politician who went horizontal, so her career could go vertical. Will she be the Democratic nominee for president? Now, I know Sloppy Joe is already the nominee, but will he continue to be so, or will he bow out ungracefully? And the melted hound dog and Sloppy Joe. No, it's not a spin off of The Fox and the Hound, the old Disney classic. I'm talking about Maxine Waters, aka the melted hound dog. Look at that woman's picture and tell me she doesn't look like a hound dog made of wax that has been left on the dashboard of a car in Arizona. That melted hound dog. She came to the aid of Sloppy Joe. She said, I'm older than him and I'm doing fine. You leave Sloppy Joe alone. Let me tell you something. That's not who you want coming to your rescue. You don't want the melting hound dog, aka James Brown stunt double. I saw her picture and I was like, I thought James Brown was dead. He is, guys. It's not James Brown. That is Maxine Waters, Congresswoman from the 43rd District of Los Angeles, where only 3% of kids can do math at grade level. She's been in there since 1991 and hasn't done shit but destroy her district. She allows illegals from south of the border to come in and run the black folks out of their homes. But she claims to love black folks. And WTF Chicago, for all of you who are too old and don't know these new acronyms, that stands for what the fuck? What the fuck, Chicago? 109 people shot, 19 dead. No, not for the year, not for the month, not even for the week. That was over 4th of July weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days, 109 people shot, 19 dead in 3 days in one city, America's shooting range. That's why I call it America's shooting range. Now, I found this on Instagram, and you go to the comments, and people are saying things like, leave Chicago alone. So-and-so city is worse. Chicago's not even that bad. Why are you always on Chicago? I don't care if there's another city out there. There's like St. Louis and shit like that have more murders per year and all this kind of shit. But 109 people were shot, 19 dead in a 3-day span. That is fucking crazy. Now, do you think that the mayor of Chicago, that little brown shirt, Brian King B, what's up, man? Do you think he, now I know this is crazy, bear with me. If you're drinking something, try not to spit it out with laughter. But do you think he took, I can't even say this word and with a straight face when I'm talking about the left, responsibility? Do you think that he took responsibility for what happens in his city? Because it's all about management. Jamie says, listen to me on his Yob. Thanks. Well, they haven't taken Jamie's yet. That's good. But do you think he took responsibility because he is the management, the boss of the city of Chicago? He is at the top. He's the man. So do you think that he took responsibility and said, I need to do better. I need to make my city more safe. This is my fault. It happened on my watch. You know, that responsibility shit. You think he did that? Don't be ridiculous. Hold on. What's up behind you? If you think he took personal responsibility, I got some magic beans I want to sell you after this live stream, because of course he did it. He blamed, guess who he blamed? No. He did not blame Republicans. He did not blame the right-wing extremists. He did not blame gun owners in neighboring states like he has before, where he says, no, these guns that are coming into the city, they're being stolen from surrounding states who have more lax gun laws, and they're being brought into Chicago. Oscar Gonzalez, very good point. Did they blame Trump? Did he blame Trump? Nope. He went back even further than that. He blamed Richard Nixon. That's right, Faithless. Tricky Dick. He blamed Richard Nixon? Okay. I don't know what kind of mental gymnastics and contortion he had to do to get there, but he did. He blamed Richard Tricky Dick, I'm not a crook, Nixon. Guys, I don't know. I didn't do that. I don't understand how he did it, but he did. He blamed Richard fucking Nixon for the violence that goes on in the city of Chicago today. Crazy, right? Okay, so let me see if I can find. I got the article about the 109 shootings in the city of Chicago, not multiple cities, just one. Just one. And you'll see this reporter. There's a still pic of this reporter who's reporting on the 109 shootings and 19 dead. Her face says it all. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then this one has to be worth 2,000, because the look on her face says it all. The look on her face says, I am sick of this shit. I am sick of standing here and reporting on this fucking violence. Sick of it. And I'm sure the people of Chicago are sick of it too. But you know what's funny is they will tell you that the police need to be defunded. Why? They need to be defunded because people of color, are you not sick and tired of hearing that bullshit, people of color? But you'll have people of color are affected and they're police brutality and they're beaten and they're shot by the cops. And we need to get those pesky police out of their neighborhoods. But who is saying this? The white liberal. The worst thing to happen to black folks since the destruction of the nuclear family. That's who's saying this. You go into the hood, you go into these areas where these people live, these people of color that they say are so oppressed and under the boot of the police, and they will tell you, no, we want more police, because where the police are, the criminals are not. Where the police are, the crime is not. So if you get more police here, there will be less crime. Forgive me for using common sense. My bad. I forgot the common sense is not so common anymore. Underground Railroad Tyrone says, people of color, what color? Well, I think we're all people of color. I have yet to see a person that looks like my t-shirt. No color. Everybody's a color. Everybody's a person of color. But when you're dealing with the left, you know, it's brown people and black people. And I mentioned this before. How come they don't say yellow people and red people? Is that racist? Is that racist to call an Asian person yellow or an Indian red and not the pull start, not the push start, the pull starts? The you know, the Indians from here. Not what? Not the Kamala Harris Indian. So I've always thought that's weird. It's okay to say white people and black people and brown people, but how come they never hear them say yellow people or red people? I'm bringing it back. I'm going to start saying yellow people. Because if you can say it about the other races, why can't you say all of them? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. I'm learning this shit right along with you guys. I don't understand this shit either. But before we get into it, can I show some appreciation? Zach Calleja, thank you. Just don't care if it's already passed. Happy 4th of July, JG, and all Americans. Hope you all had a great one. I did, and I hope you did too, Zach and everybody else. Queued up some food. I smoked a couple tri-tip, got to blow some shit up. It was nice. Now, when I say blow shit up, I mean with California fireworks. And if California fireworks could talk, they would say, hey! City Tech, thanks for the Twompski. He says, hi, JG. Yeah, 109 shot and 19 killed, but 2.7 million survived. So that's not that bad. I guess if you look at it that way, City Tech, if you look at it from a bird's eye view, it was only 19 dead. There's still 2.7 million. So it's not that bad. Well, I say this to you, City Tech. Give Chicago time. Space Trucking LLC, you son bitch. 16 months as a member. I thank you, man. He says, JG, been a minute since I caught you live, brother. Aloha. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Glad you're back. Glad you're back to catch me live. J954, the pride of Florida. Thank you for the 556. He says, JG speed round. Do you think Joe will step down? Yes. How much is gas in California? Just under $5. How's the chef job going? It's going great. Is your Glock 17 only 10-round magazine? Well, yeah. Yeah, yeah, J954. It's 10 rounds because that's the law in California. Glad I'm back too. Glad you're here, man. Thank you very much. And that was the speed round. Chris Ingles, thank you for the Twomsky, sir. He says, was funny watching Jill try and keep disgust off of her face, listening to sloppy dog face, pony soldiers business. Stay cool, hot up here in El Dorado. Well, what is it right now? Ooh, right now I'm at a cool 93 degrees, but at about 6 o'clock, it'll be 102. So take that, Chris English. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Jill has had some cringe moments, but I think the worst so far, and she's not done. I'm not saying she's done her best work yet, but the worst was after the debate. I think it was the day after, and she's like, Joe, you did a good job. You answered all the questions. And what did Trump do? He lied. Oh, God, woman, shut the fuck up. What happened to the days of a first lady just doing first lady shit, cutting some ribbons, reading to some kids, maybe add a vegetable to the food pyramid and call it a fucking day? Shut your mouth, woman. Stay off the stage. It's bad enough hearing from your husband. We do not need to hear from your home wrecking ass. Anyway, where do we start? Let's start at the beginning. Kamala, the Ugandan nightmare. Will she be next? Is she the next president of the United States of America? I think she might be. I think we have oh shit, Heather says 116 right here. Now you must be in Arizona where they make heat. We have 3 months until the election. I think it's possible because that way they can kill two birds with one stone. They can get Sloppy Joe up out of there because it's time. It's been time, but they're just catching up because we've been talking about this shit since he was running for president, right? I remember sitting right here talking to you, talking about how shitty he is at speaking and walking and shit like that, right? So it's not new to us. It's new to them. But they can kill two birds with one stone. They get Sloppy Joe out of there, and they get that we need a female president monkey off of their back. They get a woman in there. It don't matter how long, we did it. And she was a woman of color. Check off 2 boxes right there. So they can get kill two major birds with one stone. And she's in the lead. She's ahead of Gavin, bang your wife, Newsom, because he will bang your wife. She's ahead of Mike Obama, Michelle Obama, and who else do they have? Not Pritzker. What's her name from Michigan? What's that bitch's name from Michigan with the fake FBI, the fake kidnapping plot that was investigated by the FBI? I can't remember her name. Somebody let me know in the comments. I know you guys know. What's her name from Michigan? But those 3 are the next ones in line. No, Underground Railroad Tyrone, not Eminem. Whitmer, thank you. It'd be better if Eminem was running. But Whitmer, thank you guys. Gretchen Whitmer. That bitch. So those are the 3 that are behind Kamala, the Ugandan nightmare. And how bad is it if Kamala is the front runner? But people are saying, or there's some black women out there saying that they will not vote for the Democratic Party ever again if you don't put Kamala in there. If you leapfrog her for a white man like Gavin Newsom, we will never vote for you again. And to them, I say, shut the fuck up, you're lying. Because if the Democratic Party can do what they've done and you're still voting for them, you'll always vote for them. There's nothing they can't do short of killing your family member that you're not going to vote for them. Yeah, Bruce Banner, Eminem, he's one of them too. He totally is. And it's unfortunate. But Kamala Harris is the front runner. Will she become president? I think she will, because what Trump did with the debate, okay, let's say Sloppy Joe is a waiter, right? Oh, you know, if he was my waiter, I'd be like, you know what, man, stop. We're going to go eat somewhere else, because I'm sure you dropped that on the floor and you picked it up with your hands. You probably smelled our food and tasted our food, so never mind. But let's just say Sloppy Joe is a waiter, and he has a handful of stainless steel pots and pans stacked up to the ceiling, and he's doing his best to not drop everything, and he's at the top of some stairs. What Trump did with his performance in the debate was he stuck his foot out in front of Sloppy Joe at the top of the stairs, and Sloppy Joe went, and he fell down the stairs. And now you have the crashing and the banging and the calamity of this mess that is being made. Trump tipped that first domino, and now everything has come crashing down. That's what Trump did with that debate. For all the dummies out there who hadn't paid much attention, to all the people on the left who did, and you were denying it because you're a lying piece of shit, it was on display for the entire world to see, and everybody saw that shit. And that started the demise of Sloppy Joe's time at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That shit is over. Because people who had Sloppy Joe's saggy balls in the back of their throat, the talk shows, the talking heads, that guy Ricky Maddow on MSNBC, and Boy Reed, who talks about cultural appropriation but wears a blonde wig and she's black as fuck. But anyway, all of those people who were gargling Sloppy Joe's sack are now saying, you know what, he needs to go. And that's the one good thing about the left is they always end up cannibalizing their own. They always end up turning on each other because nobody can be woke enough or left enough or progressive enough to keep up with their bullshit. So that debate started the downfall of Sloppy Joe. So I think that Kamala will be able to step in there as president. And again, I've been talking about this ever since the beginning of his term about the 25th Amendment, a president not being mentally fit to carry out the duties of the office of the president of the United States. And if there's ever been a candidate for that shit, it's Sloppy Joe. So I think she will. And one good thing that'll come out of that is she will have to debate Donald Trump. And that's going to be bad because Donald Trump has a scroll-like list of all of her fuck-ups from when she was the district attorney of San Francisco, from when she was a senator for the state of California, and her putting people away for smoking bud. And then she goes on the Breakfast Club saying she used to smoke bud, and all of the cases that were overturned because of the mishandling and corruption with the evidence. There were a ton of her cases that were turned over because some of the lab techs who were testing the drugs in some of these drug cases took the drugs and did them. Like, you got a kilo of Coke, I'm supposed to test this shit a little bit for the test and a little bit for the scientist. So a lot of that shit got thrown out. Yes, forgive me. Yes, reboot. Mayor Willie Brown. That's why I call Kamala Harris the politician who went horizontal so her career could go vertical, because she laid down and took back shots from Mayor Willie Brown, and all of a sudden, she's climbing the political ladder. So it's not like the saying goes, kids, it's not what you know, it's who you blow, right? So that would be great to see her go against Trump in any kind of debate. She's probably the most unlikable human being ever on earth. She is the adult version of the kid who on Friday You're 10 minutes from getting out of class, going into your weekend, and some fucking kiss ass goes, teacher, weren't you going to give us homework this weekend? And it had completely skipped the teacher's mind. And they're like, oh, yeah, I am going to give you homework for the weekend. So that white hot hate that you focus on this nerd that you want to beat up after school now, that kid grew up to be Kamala, the Ugandan nightmare Harris, the most unlikable son of a bitch to ever be inside of the White House. And she'll bring, if she does become president, she'll bring the first gentleman. What the fuck? If my wife ever became president or vice president, I would say the first thing we're not going to do is call me the first gentleman. He might as well get on all fours, bite down on something, and get ready for them to insert something in his butthole. Let's be honest, though. Doug Emhoff would not need to bite down on anything because he is already used to it. But in a nutshell, yes, I think Kamala Harris will become president for the last couple months of Sloppy Joe's term. So that way they can get Sloppy Joe out of there. They got the woman of color in there as president, and we can move on. But I think Trump is going to beat the brakes off of whoever they put up against him. Alien testosterone. Ha, 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 ha. He says, well, you was in the Navy. Ha, 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 ha. Navy gay. I get it. Thank you. Again, alien testosterone. The Army is the branch that goes out in the forest and camps with each other and sleeps in sleeping bags. I'm just saying. And to think that nobody jumped in another sleeping bag with someone else is a fucking lie. But there are more kind people here, so I must show appreciation. Oh. Nikolai 40. Thank you, comrade. Thanks for the Twomsky. Nikolai says, I see lefties going to the LBJ speech on YouTube saying that is what Biden needs to do. They are getting desperate. Yeah, man, these are rats on a sinking ship. The level of water is rising and they are scrambling, scratching, and scraping to not drown politically. And LBJ, there's one speech they need to stay away from where he said, I'll have these niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years. Why don't they watch that speech? Think about what you think about. Member for 16 months. Greetings, JG. Hope your new job is nice. It is. Can you tell us the type of restaurant you work at without saying the name? Thoughts on Axel? It is a buffet style restaurant. Everything from chicken to crab, lobster, Asian food, Italian food. There's a meat carving station, all kinds of shit. It's great. It's a good place to learn. And as you guys know, I have a love for the culinary arts, so I'm happier than a pig in shit. Thoughts on the Axel Foley movie, Axel F movie? You're just gonna have to stay tuned. I plan on doing a review of that movie, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Think about what you think about Netflix. Never mind. Just stick around for the review, please. That's all I have to say about that. Mental medalist wife, thank you for the Twomsky, young lady. She says, good to see you again, JG and everyone. Have to get going on an appointment. Heels up, Harris. Just at another lay and puppet. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's a good appointment. Yeah, Kamala Harris, that's not even my opinion. That's not just my opinion. It's not an opinion at all. It's a fact. There are polls that people have done that show her unlikability. People do not like her. She was the first Democratic candidate to exit the Democratic presidential race in 2020. She was the first one to go. I think she didn't even crack 2% support. So her own people, her own state didn't support her. Kamala Harris fucking sucks. Literally and figuratively, if you're old enough. And depending on what crowd she's in front of, that depends on her attitude. That depends on the way her vocal inflections and the way she talks. If she's in front of white people, she talks normal. If she's in front of black folks, yeah, it's ridiculous. But you guys know that. Oh, Wally Llama. I love that name. Thank you. It doesn't matter who they run, they will lose. They can't get Joe Tato to drop out, so they're running with the Trump is in the Epstein files ruse. Oh, come on, dog. How many times does he have to speak about that? There's a picture of him and Epstein and other people. And when he found out Epstein was at Mar-a-Lago, he had him kicked out. When he found out that fucking pervert was there, he had him removed. You're not going to have somebody removed that you have something in common with, that you have a history with, and that you like. You're going to have somebody removed who's a fucking weirdo that you don't like. I hope they stick with it. This is all desperation. This is all grasping for straws. This is scraping the bottom of the barrel. I fucking hope they do. Keep it up, because people are going to see through that bullshit and it's going to be over. They tried the Hitler and the sloppy Joe during the debate. There's fine people on both sides. There were. He was talking about the people who were there for the statues, obviously not the white supremacists who fucking showed up. Golly, man. Yeah, he had that fool out of there. He's like, who's here? Peace. Security. Well, let's see. Let me bring up the melted hound. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. I ain't no done. Thank you very much. Oh. I wish I wouldn't get copyrighted for it, because every time I brought up something about Maxine Waters, I want to play You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog by Elvis. Because she is nothing but a melted hound dog. That's all she is. You ain't nothing but a melted hound dog, man. Oh, I'm telling you, baby. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, you know, I wrote that song, Hound Dog, but I got to do a remix because she's a melted hound dog, man. Fucking ridiculous. Sorry, piece of shit. You sorry, worthless, criminalistic motherfucker, Maxine Waters. Pearl, Aunt Pearl from 227. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. And I like that song too. I like the song You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog. What I think, let's see what I was talking about when I made that song. Nothing but a hound dog, man. Here it is, here she is. Here's this artifact. She was wrapped up in cloth 5,000 years ago and buried in the sands of Egypt, but she somehow wiggled her way out and made her way to Washington, D.C. Now let's hear the melted hound dog talk about Sloppy Joe as she sits there looking like James Brown.
Too old. Hell, I'm older than Biden.
You sure, bitch?
You look good, Congresswoman.
And I get up every morning.
All right.
And I exercise.
All right.
And I work late hours.
All right.
I take care of black people.
All right.
Trump has told you who he is. He defined himself. He is a no good, deplorable, lying, despicable human being. And he's talking about if he doesn't win, there's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be violence. there's going to be a civil war. Who the hell do you think he's coming after? We're now at a point in...
Bitch, if you don't shut up with those damn lies. I get up in the morning and I exercise. You don't fucking exercise. It probably takes you 45 minutes to sit up in bed. All the cracking and popping and dust coming out of your fucking joints. He did not say there would be a bloodbath if he doesn't get elected. He was talking about the fucking auto industry in Mexico, and that's a term when it comes to auto sales and business and auto manufacturing. Bloodbath. That's a term. Obviously, he didn't say that shit. There's going to be violence. He never said that. There's going to be a civil war. He never said that. And who's he going to go after? Who? Are you implying that if he doesn't get it, what would be his end game? What would be his goal by going after black folks with violence if he doesn't get elected president? That's probably the smallest group of people who vote. So why would he go after them? It'd be their fault? Just because they're black? And as you can hear by the applause, there is still a lot of dumbass black folks out there who have that Democrat hook sunk deep into their lips. What the fuck does that even mean? And she is much older than Sloppy Joe. How old is Maxine Waters? That bitch is old as baseball. I bet she's so old her memories are in black and white. Her memory, she's so old her memories are silent. Like a Charlie Chaplin movie. Her memories don't even have any sound. Maxine Waters is 85 years old, and she will be 86 years old on August 15th. That wench will be almost 90 years old next month. Holy shit. She's old as fuck. And there's nothing wrong with being old. We all hope to be old someday, right? But she is far too damn old to be in politics. Why do you not want to be enjoying your great-grandchildren? Why would you not want to enjoy the twilight of your life? Why would you want to work, quote, late nights like she said? Do any of you want to be working into your mid to late 80s? And I'm not talking about working some part-time job just to keep you lively. I'm talking about working hard. I'm talking about working 40 plus hours a week. Who the fuck wants to do that at that age? Unless you have to. Unless you owe people. Unless you have to, or something's going to happen. Something's going to be leaked. I'll tell you what. I love hanging out with you guys and making content and doing the things for a living that I used to get in trouble for. Love it. Best job I ever had. I can't even call it a job. But do you think I want to be doing this shit when I'm in my 80s? No. Are you fucking kidding me? Hell, I'm older than Joe Biden. Holy shit. They have a combined age of 166. Two people have a combined age of 166. That's closer to 200 than 100. These two feeble sons of bitches have a combined age of almost 200 years old. America is only 248. Wait a minute. These two combined, their combined age is less than 100 years younger than America. Holy shit. They are together less than 100 years younger than America. This country we sit in right now. Holy shit. Old as fuck. But hey, they still got it. Remember all that shit that they would say well, behind closed doors, Sloppy Joe, he's knocking out of the park and he's sharp and he's witty and he's up and he's doing this. He's running around. He's doing fucking backflips in the hallway. Then how come we never see that Sloppy Joe in public? How can we never see that quick-witted Jack LaLanne type Sloppy Joe in public? Why is he hiding that from us? Why is he saving all the good shit for behind closed doors? That's like going to a restaurant and they serve you shitty food, but the crew in the back, when they have lunch, it's 5-star. Well, why are you giving all the good food to them? Why don't you give the good food to us, the paying customer? Like my mom would say when she was hanging out with my aunts and stuff like that, they would get to talking and gossip. What a shame. I'm going to say this one more time because it just blows my mind when you think of it. Maxine Waters and Sloppy Joe have a combined age of 166 years old. America is only 248. Their combined age is less than 100 years younger than America. Faithless, bless her heart. They would say that too. You knew it was something bad. When anybody tell you black or not, when they say bless her heart, it's not good. It is not good. Well, you guys want to talk about death and violence in a major American city? I do. Chirac, Chicago, America's shooting range. What the fuck is going on? Look at this lady's face. This reporter's face says it all. Look. Look at her face. Look at the disgust and disappointment. She's, I am sick of coming to these fucking shootings. Her face looks like, What say you, fed up reporter?
Well, good morning, guys. Yeah, since the start of the holiday weekend, Wednesday evening, our latest numbers show at least 103 people have been shot, 19 of them killed. Those numbers are nearly double what we saw last year. And now both Mayor Brandon Johnson and Superintendent Larry Snelling are trying to find ways to provide support to the community. We know the last shooting that we've heard so far took place in West Chesterfield and at East 89th Place, where 2 people were shot, one of them killed. And that was just minutes before the shooting you're going to see here that took place in South Austin neighborhood, where 1 person was shot and killed. And of course, all of this coming as police have been very busy still investigating the murder of a 26-year-old man who was shot and killed while walking in the South Loop, sending neighbors into panic. Well, good morning, guys.
I told you, look at this comment right here. But we aren't the highest murder rate city, though. That's not the point, you fucking dummy. That's not the point, you short bus rider. The point is 19 people were killed on a holiday weekend. A holiday weekend. 19 murdered, 109 shot. There are cities in this country who don't have 19 homicides a year. who don't have 109 shootings a year. And Chicago says, hold my deep dish pizza. We're about to knock that shit out in a weekend. What the fuck? But don't worry. The mayor of this great city has words of encouragement, full of fire and vigor, to make the people of his city feel safe and know that he will do everything in his power to keep them safe and eradicate the city of the criminal element. Mayor Brandon Johnson, make your constituents feel safe.
Cut off the pipeline of boys between the ages of 10 and 19 being either victims or the perpetrators. So, yeah, it is personal. Black death has been unfortunately accepted in this country for a very long time. We had a chance 60 years ago to get at the root causes, and people mocked President Johnson. And we ended up with Richard Nixon. I'm going to work hard every day to transform this city. That's what it takes to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. And I need everybody to step up. So we cut off the pipeline.
You heard it here, folks. 60 years ago, we had a chance to get at the root cause. And instead, we got Richard Nixon. So you guys, there's 350 people in here. So that's 350 brains. That's, I'm sorry, 361. So we got 361 high-powered brains in here. We got a lot of gray matter in this chat. So I want you guys to help me figure out the correlation between what could have happened 60 years ago and 109 motherfuckers getting shot in Chicago. Where's the connection? What does getting Richard Nixon instead of LBJ, who hated black people, who was an avowed racist, where's the connection? Okay, you got Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon is fucking dead. So now what? What are you even talking about? What does Richard Nixon have to do with young black men shooting other young black men? Oh, and not just young black men, black children. It's not uncommon for an elementary school age child to get caught in the crossfire and get shot in their face. There was a little girl a couple of years ago who got shot 6 times in her torso in a drive-through McDonald's because her daddy was a fucking gangbanger and they were targeting him. He lived. He got out of the car and went like this, unscathed. But his baby girl, his 6-year-old, you guys, close your eyes unless you're driving or operating heavy equipment. And imagine what a 6-year-old girl looks and sounds like. Imagine hearing that little 6-year-old voice. The inquisitive nature of a 6-year-old. That little tiny, cute kid voice. The clothes that a little 6-year-old girls wear. Maybe a lot of pink. Maybe a dress or something, her toys. Think of how small she is. And think of her taking 6 hot-ass bullets in her torso. She's excited to get some chicken nuggets or something, maybe get a little toy in her Happy Meal, and instead, because of her dad being a piece of shit, she gets shot 6 times in her little body. Imagine what that felt like. Imagine the pain it felt, her getting shot 6 times and her bleeding in the back seat of that car. And what she might have said, Daddy, help me. Daddy, I'm hurting. Daddy, am I going to die? Think about that shit. And tell me what the fuck that has to do with Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon is not being like the movie Ghost, and he's not standing behind these young black men holding the gun for them, aiming at another black kid. He's not doing that. There's no white man, there's no systemic racism that is putting the guns in their fucking hands and having them gun each other down indiscriminately because they don't respect life. Respect, along with charity, starts at home. Your parents, your father teaches you how to control your emotions, how not to fly off the handle over some bullshit, how to know your situation and your surroundings and act accordingly. I'm talking about young men and the violence. Being a man is living in a world of potential violence. Sometimes violence is necessary, but most of the time it's not. Most of the time you just have to grin and bear it. You have to take whatever it is and get yourself out of that situation. That's being a man. Not shooting somebody because they live on a different street, not shooting somebody because of the way they looked at you, not shooting somebody because they're going after a girl you like. That is not a reason to take somebody's fucking life. But they don't learn that because they are steeped and marinated in fucking estrogen, and they live with ghetto bitches who teach them that any emotion that comes, you can fly off the handle and do something about it. Take that gun to school. You're going to take that shit? You're going to take that disrespect? Women are allowed to do that bullshit because they're women. Men have to control their emotions and not act like a woman. Now you have hordes and legions of young men with the strength of a man and the emotions of a fucking female. That's how you get 109 people shot over a holiday weekend in a fucking city. Then you got this clown ass brown shirt commie piece of shit talking about Richard Nixon? Okay. And what about doing something about it? What about bolstering your fucking police force and getting more boots on the ground to combat this shit? Uh-oh. You know what, guys? I think about a week or so ago, I did a video talking about the money that is spent on illegals in Chicago, and I think I talked about how many cops they could hire with that money. They could hire thousands of police officers in Chicago with the money they're spending on these fucking illegals. But he said he's going to make sure Chicago is safe, and he's going to work hard to make Chicago a better place. Right, Brandon?
Of boys between the ages of 10 and 19 being either victims or the perpetrators. So, yeah, it is personal. Black death has been unfortunately accepted in this country for a very long time.
You know what? Hold on right there. Black death. When he says something like that, he's implying that black people have been killed by evil, racist white people for a long time in this country. And it's always some toothless sister fucking boss hog who kills a black person. Maybe that was true for a snapshot in time of this country. They have a lynching memorial somewhere in the South, and they're about fourth, and each, they're like wind chimes, and each wind chime is supposed to represent a lynching. So each one of those wind chimes is a black person who was lynched. Now, never mind the white folks who were lynched too. We'll just talk about the black folks. 4,000. That's a lot, right? Well, here's a bigger number. 7,000 are killed every year by other black folks. So in 1 year, you've almost doubled that stupid lynching memorial. So what happened after the boss hogs? Come here, boy. Not my daughter. What happened once they stopped killing black folks? It was like a relay race. Black folks took the baton from the white supremacists, from the Klan and all that shit, and just fucking, I got this. You guys think you can kill some black folks? Watch this shit. Watch me run this murder race for you. I'm going to make the Klan blush. The Klan is like, God damn, boy, we couldn't even dream about killing as many niggers as you are. What happened with that? What happened once the boss hogs died out? You know, the civil rights movement, because that helped black people, didn't it? Civil rights movement was good. Civil rights movement was some bullshit. But Jericho, you can't say that. Your skin color. It's the truth. The civil rights movement was the beginning of the downfall of the black community. Do some fucking homework. So once the racist Klan, white hood sons of bitches stopped, who took over and blew their numbers out of the fucking water? You know what it's like with how many black folks, these racist, slave-owning Ku Klux Klans members, versus what black folks do now? It's like one of those high school races where a Ku Klux trans member is now racing against the girls. That fool's winning the race by 50 yards. He's already took his cleats off, drank Gatorade, and gave a fucking post-race interview when the next girl in second place is crossing the damn finish line. The racist white people who've been killing black people for hundreds of years couldn't dream of these fucking numbers. But somehow, some way, it's Richard Nixon's fault that Chicago is a violent shithole. And not just a regular shithole, like a homeless dude shithole. He didn't say anything about, I'm going to make this city more safe. It's my fault, my watch. Nope. Blame it on the white man, the white man. Which tells these violent fucking savages in the city of Chicago, it's not your fight. It's not your fault. Kill on. Keep killing. It's not your fault. It's the white man's fault. It's the situation you're in. It's the poor neighborhood you live in. That's another pile of bullshit. Because you live in a fucked up area, you should be allowed to sell dope and kill each other? There's a, hold on, I'll bring this up right now. So because you live in a poor neighborhood, you're allowed to murder each other. Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're fucking doing? God, this shit is okay. So there's a girl, this young girl. I'm sorry, she was a young woman, 31 years old, and she was murdered, and her body was dismembered and left in bags on the sidewalk, right? And so this guy, they have a suspect. So they bring the suspect out, and there's a big group of people outside, 50 people out there, who are they're punching this dude, they're trying to get their hands on him and fucking kill people, saying, kill him, kill him. The cops are trying to keep the people back because they're trying to take him to an ambulance. So I wrote in the comment section, where is this kind of action when a drug dealer or a gangbanger kills somebody? Can you believe these fucking idiots? Oh, so you're saying a murderer is the same as a drug dealer? Yes, you fucking retard. Drug dealers kill people. And if they don't pull the trigger themselves, they're selling poison that kills people. Anything to stay, gross. Anything to stay away from that personal responsibility. Where are you sons of bitches when a gangbanger guns down a 9-year-old? How come you're not outside the police station trying to beat his ass, calling for him to be killed? Oh, well, it's the poverty and it's the neighborhood you live in. Bullshit. There have been studies done in areas where there are a bunch of poor white people and you don't have the crime and violence. It's a culture thing. Just because you live in a fucked up area doesn't mean you get to kill each other and sell dope. Go get a fucking job. Yeah, the job's not going to give you rims and bitches, but oh well. You just don't want to get a job. You'd rather get that quick money. And it only ends in two places. That's what my dad told me. Son, you sell drugs, you only end up in two places, dead or in jail. You're either going to end up in the ground or you're going to end up with somebody putting their dick all the way in your butt to the bristle. I don't know which is worse. Chicago, you fucking suck. You went from Mayor Googly Eyes, you went from the sloth from Ice Age to this commie piece of shit. You don't give a damn about Chicago. Chicagoans, you don't mind being murdered by the dozens every fucking weekend. You don't care. You love this shit. You love the murder. You love the violence. You love the drugs. You love the illegals being put before you and then spending hundreds of millions of dollars on these fuckers that shouldn't be here. You love it. You must love it because you keep voting this bullshit in. Gotta go. I gotta take my son to boxing and I gotta drop off their bikes at the bike shop. I got shit to do. I got dad shit to do, people, and I love it. I love being a father. And you guys out there who may be thinking about getting married, or maybe you just got married, if you have people in your life telling you, oh, marriage is this and you got to give up that, blah, 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 don't listen to those people. Those people fucked up. They picked the wrong person. Being married and having a family is amazing. I love my kids. I love my wife. I love spending time with them. I love shaping and molding their lives because you're not going to have them that long. You don't have them until they're 18. You have them until they're about 13 or 14 because once they start hanging out with their friends most of the time, that's who's influencing them. When you marry the right person and you have kids, it's amazing. Don't let anybody steer you wrong. Anybody who tells you otherwise, they fucked up. Period. I am living proof. Like I said, gotta run. Appreciate you guys being here. I will do that review on the new Beverly Hills Cop movie, Axel F. So stay tuned for that shit. I appreciate you guys being here. I thank you for your generosity, your time, your comments, your concerns, all that shit. 8 billion sons of bitches in this world. And you chose and you chose me. That's not lost on me. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit up the link to my Teespring. Make sure you hit up, give me a follow on X. I hit the 3,000 mark. I thank you. Onward to 5,000. I appreciate all you guys being here. Shout out to you all. Thank you very much. Keep it locked right here for my latest content, but you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over there to the Teespring link and give me a follow on X at @green_Jericho. I am Jericho Green. And man, I'm out.